Hey guys, it's 𝗧𝗛𝗡𝗏 here, and we are officially back with another build challenge. So for today's challenge, we will be exploring different weird US holidays. So these aren't your typical Christmas, Valentine's Day, July 4th kind of deal. And for our holidays, we have quite a interesting assortment. So we have Poop Day, we have Quitters Day, we have Life in the Cracks Day, we have Alien Abduction Day, Plan Your Epitaph Day, and finally, Stupid Toy Day. So again, really weird, really wonky. We're just gonna see how this pans out. So just as a quick overview of the apartment, like I said, there are 6 rooms. We do have the living room space over here. So it's gonna be like a combined, possibly living room / dining room, if that makes sense. We do have a little kitchen over here with a little kind of peek in the wall, kind of hole in the wall kind of thing going on there. We will have an office space. We do have a little hallway over here. We do have the only bathroom in this apartment. And then finally the master bedroom. The master bedroom will be here along the wall as well. So those are our 6 rooms. And without further ado, we're gonna start with the living space. All right, so for the living space, I'm gonna mix them up a little bit. And for our first weird holiday, we have Stupid Toy Day. All right, so Stupid Toy Day is our theme for the living room. And if I can see it right, this holiday is celebrated in the US on December 16th. So pretty weird holiday. It happens probably about a week before Christmas. And supposedly it's supposed to celebrate all the funky toys that we grew up with and are part of our nostalgia. So that's gonna be kind of fun. I'm thinking we can do something really zany. I'm thinking maybe a little retro, maybe something like this, maybe something green and weird. We also have dinosaur wallpaper, so lots of things, maybe a Barney throwback, Dragon Tales, if you guys remember that. And I'll see if I can lighten up the carpet just a little bit. We never have good carpets in this game, so it always makes things really funky. Let's take a look, because this flooring, guys, this flooring is, whoa, okay, not this one. I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep the carpet, you guys. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I am in some weird preschool, a pediatrician's office. Yeah, or maybe even old school McDonald's. I'm not really sure what the vibe is here, but I think we're going to roll with it. I do want to go with more of a retro theme because the holiday is about celebrating old toys. And I don't know about you guys. What were your favorite toys growing up? Because, yeah, I think when I go back to my childhood, I think about like Legos, but I like the large, I think they were called like Duplo Legos, and I used to build all kinds of stuff with them. And the other thing I really loved were actually, plastic food. Plastic food was a weird obsession of mine. I like to pretend that I knew how to cook and run a restaurant, which is really far from reality, but c'est la vie, that's life, that's just what I did. Okay, so for this room, I do want it to be very cozy. I think we can use some of the stuff from Parenthood again, so I'm trying to see what we have for options. I'm thinking we can do a TV along the wall, so I will try to find a TV stand. I would normally go for my favorite, which is this really big trunk, but you know what? I think it fits. I'm gonna make it work. It could kind of pass as a toy chest, so I think we'll do that. Ooh, we do have this. This is kind of fun. This is probably going to be the only time I use a Penguin TV, so I think that actually works there. There is also this rug. I love this rug, you guys. This one from the infant update is also great, so I think I'll do this one. I love some of the colors. I think it kind of blends in with the... Yeah, it kind of blends in fairly well. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have this utility box just sitting out of nowhere. That is not child-proof, that's not child-safe, so I don't really know what we're gonna do with it. Perhaps I can stick it in a closet. I think I'm gonna modify this space a little bit. On a side note, I do remember trying to find apartments once, and there was one place that had the whole water tank. It had the whole water tank exposed in the kitchen area, and yeah, sometimes there are just very strange decisions made by whoever builds apartments. I don't understand why it happened, but it was pretty weird. Yeah, maybe you guys know what I mean. There are just some very strange things that sometimes you find on Zillow, and yeah, I'm just not really about that for this build. So hopefully we can hide it. I'll just stick one of these doors in here. Just another door from Seasons. I'm thinking I can also add in some bean bags from Tiny Living. Yes, Tiny Living. Now, what really stinks about this is I actually learned that Sims can't sit on these, which maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong on this. But I think I did find out that they're just little end tables, which I'm sad about. I think they could work really well as bean bags, like actual bean bags that you can sit on. All right, so we do need some toys. And if we're thinking stupid toys as in old toys, I think we can just kind of go for a lot of different things. I really love these giant stuffed animals, and I do believe these are base game. I will also put a toy chest here, which I think also blends in pretty well. I think we need some books. I think we do need some books in this area. Ooh, I love this. Okay, this is from the infant update. But alas, I can't drag it down. You know, I'm trying to put books for children, and this is pretty high for a child, especially if they are a toddler. Perhaps the parents can help out a little bit, so that's not too bad. Ooh, I like this one. This one's fun. Okay, it kind of blends in with the wall. Which one do I love? Okay, what is this? This is like the freezer bunny. I think this is the freezer bunny, you guys. He or she or they has made a debut, so that's kind of fun. And I could try to fit in a dollhouse because I think that would be nice, but I don't really have an idea of where I want to put that. Perhaps along the wall here, maybe. So, ooh, we have clipping. We do have clipping, you guys, so that's going to be an issue. It's going to be a little bit of a problem. Okay, so this is too big. I think this is too big, you guys. I think what I'll do is I will put in this activity table. This is fun. I do think this is supposed to be, this is more or less Lego, so I think this will do. And this chair does look like it fits. It does look like it fits. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. This is just not snapping correctly. I think I'm just gonna Alt hold it in place. You know, if it doesn't work, it's maybe there for show. Forgive me because I don't know how these work. Ooh, we do have some bunnies. That's fun. Okay. Come on. Come on. Why do you not work with me? Why not? Okay. Scale them down. Hover. Hover. Good old building problems. Here we go. Okay. Maybe the smaller ones. Okay. Those will work. And yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this space. I think we are all set. And I think we are ready to move on to our next weird holiday. All right, so for the next weird holiday, and this will be for the kitchen area, we will have Quitter's Day. All right, Quitter's Day. This is a really interesting one. So Quitter's Day happens on, let's see, January 12th. And so this obviously follows New Year's or New Year's Day. And this holiday celebrates all those who have given up on their New Year's resolutions. So this is going to be weird. This is going to be weird. I definitely don't want this space looking too nice. So maybe an older tile. We can start with this. And then going into the countertops. Okay, we do have these dingy ones. We do have these dingy ones from City Living. So this is perfect. This person is just fed up with cleaning. And I don't blame them, but I don't blame them at all. I think we can all agree that cleaning is a lot of work. We got some fun colors for the fridge. I'm not going to lie, you guys. They're all really, really banged up, if I do say so myself. They're in really bad shape. So yeah, I don't think any choice is bad. It's a pretty tight fit. So let me do it one more time. Whoa, whoa, slow down there. Whoa, very tiny cabinet spaces, but I think they're going to have to do just like this. Ooh, this apartment is looking scary, you guys. These are very badly kept appliances. But here we are. We're going to commit. Yes, we are. All right, the floor, you guys. The floor, the floor, the floor. The floor should also be very filthy and probably not this new. I think this is too nice for being a Quitter's Day apartment. So I'm thinking we can do some kind of weird wood. So maybe something like this. I actually don't mind this wood too much. I think it looks nice enough, but you can see that there's enough age, there's enough sort of a stain or grain in the wood, which could imply it's seen a lot over the years. It has seen a lot. So I think that works fine. I think we'll go with that. The curtains. Okay. Something that looks dirty, which that's going to be hard because a lot of these look quite nice. So I'm not really sure how I can make this look worse than what it is. I can just kind of go for ugly curtains, I guess. Maybe they've been yellowed by... Yeah, they've just seen a lot, you guys. These curtains were once white, but for some people who didn't obey the rules in the apartment, they just aged, they weren't cleaned. People may have been using things they weren't supposed to, and that is why they turned the color they did. Okay, so for this, vampires, the vampires game pack is going to be essential because we can get all of these nasty elements in. We literally have scratches, we have water stains, which is great. Let's put in some cobwebs. I think we have some ones for the corner area. You know, on the positive side, if this kitchen has ants, the spiders will actually do this owner a favor because they will eat a lot of those pesky little insects that are crawling around. So it's not that bad after all. It's not that bad. Definitely more water stains here. Yes. These poor children, these poor kids have this wonderful living space. It's clean, it's fun, it's inviting. And then there's this very unsanitary kitchen. If this was some kind of care facility, this would have been shut down immediately, but here we are. We're gonna go with it. All right, giant cracks because, yeah. Everything is damaged. Everything is damaged here. Maintenance gave up, the HOA gave up, the owner gave up. It's madness, you guys. Okay, so for extra measure, I'm thinking we can even put some clothes on the floor because this is just, yeah. This is not going to be, actually, you know what? It can be usable. It's just going to be very unpleasant to use. So this person just doesn't care. We have clothes everywhere. Probably put some in the entryway like this. Ooh, kids clutter. Now it's getting really out of hand. Okay. Yes. Mom and dad, mom and mom, dad and dad, they gave up. The kids have taken over. They have made disaster in the kitchen and no one is cleaning anymore. So this is the state that it's become. Ooh, yes. Okay, more clutter. This is great. So we have letters. They don't seem to snap anywhere, but I'll just dump them on the counter. There's just no discretion here. Ooh, yes. More debris. I am for this, you guys. I've never used this rug, but now is the perfect time for it. And then let me look for the box. Aha, here it is. Here is the other box of clutter I enjoy. It even has a frying pan. So yeah, again, failed spring cleaning. I think that works great. And yeah, okay, I think this definitely fits. This definitely fits the quitter's day. This kitchen is an absolute disarray. It's messy. It's everything you'd expect from someone who's given up. They just don't want to clean. They don't want to cook. Their kids have run wild in here, and I think this is absolutely perfect for what we're trying to do. All right, so now we move on to the hallway, and this will be our next weird holiday. All right, and for the hallway, we officially have Life in the Cracks Day. Yes. And I will have to explain this one. This one's kind of weird. The holiday does take place on March 12th, and officially Life in the Cracks Day. If you're thinking it has to do with butts, it does not. It actually has to do with plants that grow in the cracks of sidewalks. And yeah, that's probably something that sounds very strange, but it's actually a celebration of life. It celebrates the wonders of nature, the ability for nature to grow and thrive, even with a lot of the construction, with pollution, you know, all the wonderful things that we probably can do better with. But yes, I think it's a very fascinating, it's a very fascinating holiday indeed. So for this one, I am trying to think of how I can do this. I think that if I want to pay a true homage to this holiday, I have to make this look like a city area. So I do want some kind of cement or stone on the ground. Now, if only I can find them, because these swatches tend to get lost. I don't remember where a lot of them are, but I think there's one that has actual cracks. Oh, okay. This one actually works. It does have the tiles I'm looking for. The walls could almost fit. I'm thinking I can do probably a rougher exterior. I'm not quite sure. I could also do this green. This could be very interesting, like being on the side of a building and just making it more of a I don't know, making it sort of a community garden inspired area. I know those are usually located in a lot of city areas. They're kind of located in parks that are designated. So I kind of want to capture that feel. Let's have a look. Okay. So this look is a little tricky. Maybe I'll scrap the eco lifestyle look and probably go for more of a garden. Something like a very homey, cozy natural garden. So something like this. You know, we need plants everywhere. That's pretty much it, you guys. We need plants everywhere. So I think these planter boxes work great. This could be fun. Okay. So maybe something like this. Fill the space. All right, so overhead light. We can also do mason jars. I think that gives it a really fun feel as well. We do have these, which are cool. These are from the Desert Luxe kit. I do like that these look quite natural. They look like they're made out of rattan. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Ooh, I love this. I think it's called a fig plant. Fig fiddle leaf fig. Okay, well that's a tongue twister, you guys, but regardless, I love this plant. I think it'll work great. Maybe some cool outdoor lighting, because I do want to light up those doors if something fits. Yeah, if something fits. Ooh, we do have these mason jars. I think these are really cool. These are from Cottage Living, and apparently they also work off-grid. I've used them quite a bit. All right, wreaths. Yes, I love these from Cottage Living, and we're going to put them... Yeah, we're going to use them quite generously, if you will. I do love them, so I will put them around here. Ooh, I love this thing, but it's huge. This thing is huge, you guys, but I like it. All right, maybe we're going to use it. I'm going to squeeze it in here. Maybe I can scale it down just a tad, but it does fit here, so maybe I'll just leave it like this. All right, Cottage Living. Cottage Living to save the day. Have some nice flowers here. All right, okay, that's not looking too bad. Now, I do want to add a little bit of grass on the sidewalk because I think that'll be a really cool addition. And I'm going to see what we have available to do that because I think that'll be a really cool way to drive home the theme. Maybe something like this. Cracks in the sidewalk. We're gonna embody the holiday at its fullest, you guys. It may be a little weird, but we're gonna do it just like that. All right, guys, and I think we do have our hallway complete. This is the Life in the Cracks holiday room. So we're celebrating little sparks of plant life and even weeds and other bits of unwanted foliage. So I do think this fits fairly well. And yeah, it's not bad. All right, so we are now onto the study room. So this is going to be interesting. And for this room, we shall have the Plan Your Epitaph Day. All right, this is fun. And this holiday is on November 2nd, and I believe that follows the Mexican holiday of the Day of the Dead. So this holiday sounds pretty dark. It sounds a bit macabre, if you will, but it actually has really good intentions. So plan your own epitaph. You obviously are writing your own engraving for your gravestone when your life is no longer, and you want to pay tribute to yourself, which I don't think is actually a bad thing. I think it is important to kind of think back on things that you've enjoyed in your life, things you've accomplished, things you're proud of. So I think the holiday, as weird as it sounds, is actually very well intended. Anyways, for this room, we are going to be very cryptic. And by cryptic, I literally mean we're going to make this a crypt. So vampires, vampire pack, here we come. It'll be very dark and gloomy just for the sake of the fun theme of this room because yeah. All right, so if we are in a crypt, we do need some very interesting stone fixtures everywhere. I'm thinking we will do candles. I'm thinking we will do a lot of vampire stuff, a lot of the stuff from the Vampires game pack. I think that'll be very fitting. We could go very hardcore with this. Hardcore vampires, let's see. All right, so for the standing lamps, this is going to be a little tricky because I do know we need some candles. This is very cryptic. I don't mind it though. I don't mind it. We're just gonna go hardcore with this theme. I will try to find more candles or a lantern. A lantern is great. I'm thinking I'm a grave digger. I am working late at night. That's just part of the job. We need some lanterns, so here we go. Ooh, yes, I love this. Really love this. I feel like I'm in some kind of old medieval castle dungeon. Yes, we're totally doing this. All right, maybe this one. This is gonna be a weird option, but I'm thinking of benches that you'd see in a cemetery. And I do think I'll also put some ivy on the wall as well. I think that'll really drive home the theme. So again, borrowing from the Vampires pack, let me just scoochy this out of the way. Just like that. Some along this area. Double check it doesn't, oh, it's peeking out. Okay. I went too hard with it. Okay. I do wish this window stopped glitching, but it's not looking too good right now, you guys. We have some skulls here. Ooh, interesting. I love this piece. It gives me very gothic vibes. I think of Edgar Allan Poe and the Raven. It does look very occult-like, very witchcraft, which I am fine with. I think it works great. I do also think that I want to incorporate the base game images, the base game photographs, because I do love them quite a bit, and perhaps they could be a tribute. They could be a tribute to those who have passed away, those who have passed on. All right, guys, you know, apart from this very glitchy window over here, I think this is pretty fitting. This is the Write Your Own Epitaph Day. So here you are, you can enter a mausoleum office and you can use this very handy typewriter to write your own epitaph. Yeah, this is it. This is the final office. So again, pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with how the theme turned out. And with that, we will go on to the next room. So what we have next is the only bathroom in this entire apartment. And this one is going to be one of two options. And we do have Alien Abduction Day. All right, and this one is on March 20th. And the name is exactly as it sounds. It is celebrating, or at least paying homage to all of those who have claimed to be abducted by aliens. And for me, I personally believe in aliens. Aliens are a very big part of, I guess, the sci-fi culture of the United States. We're very famous for having the whole Roswell incident, but there have been a lot of sightings, especially throughout the Southwest as well. And I do know that there are many other famous UFO sightings or UFO events, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But yes, this one's gonna be really fun. I'm thinking what we can do is possibly make this into an alien spaceship. This bathroom is going to be very futuristic. Perhaps some paneling on a spaceship. I think this could be really cool. This is from the Get to Work pack, and it's pretty versatile. They call them clinical panels, but they do work for a potential alien spaceship. And unfortunately, this room is really small, so I don't really know how we're going to fit everything we need in here. So I think what we can do is we can put a standing shower in the corner. We do have this one, which is really, it's really something. But I do like this one as well. Let's see. Yeah, I do think I enjoy this one more. I think this feels more futuristic. I feel like aliens aren't so clunky looking with their equipment. At least I would think so. All right, futuristic sinks. What do we have here? We do have this one from Get to Work, but it feels like a bubbler or a water fountain, whatever you want to call it. We used to call these bubblers back in New England, and I think that is what stuck for me. But I know that's a really weird term, so hopefully you guys understand it either way. Okay, ooh, we do have this one from Spa Day. I think this could be a really good option. I think I will just go with a solid white. And then for the mirror, I think we can also do Spa Day once more. I do like that it has what appears to be almost like an LED strip around it, or an LED light fixture embedded within it, which I think is great. It looks very futuristic, very contemporary. I will do the spacey green to fit with the theme. I do think that works quite well. All right, the toilet. We do have some interesting options here. This one is very technical. It looks like I think I am looking at what originally was a Game Boy that evolved into a toilet. I do like these different tech elements better, so I think I will stick with this. And then of course we need our handy dandy toilet paper roll, like that. Ooh, I love this, you guys. Okay, here we go. This is it. I love this. Problem is it's gonna go over the toilet, but maybe we can do it like this. I think it just adds a little bit of ambiance to our alien abduction bathroom. Who would have ever thought, you guys? And to be honest with you guys, I actually think this looks really interesting. It looks very sleek It's probably not something I would use in a regular household or regular playthrough, but I do enjoy how this came out, as weird and as wacky as the holiday is. All right, so with that said, we do have our final room, and this is the bedroom, and oh God. Oh, you guys. Okay, I know what the last one is, and the last holiday is Poop Day. The last holiday is Poop Day for the bedroom, and this is celebrated on the day of February 12th. All right. Poop Day. This is going to be fun. And obviously, the holiday sounds ridiculous. We're celebrating what comes out of our bodies when we go on the toilet. And it is not number 1, but number 2. But on a more serious note, there is a really important message behind this holiday, and it is about taking care of your gut health, which obviously is very important. Doing screenings, all of that, better diets. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, pretty funky holiday. You hear Poop Day and you're thinking, who made this? Who made this holiday? Who made this holiday up and thought it was a good idea? Unfortunately, it is our last room, which I don't know what we're going to do with it. I was originally going to make it more of a bathroom, but because we just did the bathroom with the Alien Abduction room, I'm thinking we can do something a little bit fun and go old school. I'm thinking we can design this almost like an outhouse. You know, when you didn't have modern day plumbing, you had an outhouse. So I think this room is going to be a little rustic. It might be a little dingy to play on the whole poop theme. This is not going to be the most attractive bedroom, but maybe I can make it work. Maybe instill, you know, some bits of rustic charm inside. I really have no idea. Something like this. It's chocolatey, you know, speaking to the theme. All right, so for the bed, I think it should also fit the theme of the room and should feel probably a bit more on the rustic side. So I will try to put in a full bed. I do think I want to do that. This feels like it has rustic charm. It's kind of a dingy pattern to fit with a theme, I guess. So maybe this one, maybe this would be a place Shrek would like. I think that is what we could be going for here. Could be. I think we will need a lantern. So I will put one here. We're going old school. It's late at night. We live far out in the middle of nowhere. There is no plumbing and we have to use the outhouse. So we bring our lantern. We do need curtains here. So that's another weird one. Not sure. I think we can go for more of blinds, perhaps. Either that. I do like these wooden style ones as well. I do believe they're from Snowy Escape. All right, so I did decide to change the bed. I do think it matches the rug better, and I know it's probably a little bit too decorative and nice to be considered related to a poop room, if you will. But yeah, this pattern, it just reminds me of Quilted Northern, Charmin, Ultra, less is more. I will get a dresser here. I do like this one for some reason. For some reason, this one fits with a theme, and I don't know why. I can just make it all brown like this. We can do more storage that can resemble a bathroom, so that's not too bad. Ooh, something like this. This could work. I can just change the color a little bit. I think we'll need some flowers in this room. We're gonna need something to expel the stench, or better yet, I'll put candles. I think candles would be a great solution for this, so let me do that. Perhaps some pipes. We're gonna really play up this theme, because yeah, we're gonna have fun with it. This is just so weird, but it's fun. It's fun and weird. Some vents perhaps. I think I could just go like base game vents and just, again, let that air flow. We need air flow in this space. Getting that stench out right there. I do want a fan inside, so I'll get that. Nice ceiling fan. I think that works great. And that pretty much wraps up our, Poop Day inspired bedroom, as weird as that is. All right, guys, so here we are. This is the full-on completed apartment featuring weird US holidays. So we did start with our living room area, and this was inspired by the Stupid Toy Day that is celebrated in December, paying homage to all of our favorite childhood toys and probably our favorite childhood memories as well. So I do think this turned out pretty nicely. It's very bright and colorful. It's a great place for your kids to hang out and have fun. And yeah, I do get little bits of nostalgia here and there. I love seeing stuffed animals. I do see some Legos here. I did have some favorite childhood books, so we do have that. And then we do have the little reading corner here as well. Now, if you guys remembered, I did hide the utilities, and I do think that's the best way to keep this room safe for the kids, so we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it, I guess. Anyways, we're gonna move on, and we are getting into the kitchen, and this kitchen was themed after the National Quitters Day. So this is, again, following New Year's. This kitchen is an absolute mess. We have no one cleaning. We have no one performing maintenance to this kitchen. It is very dingy. The kids have overrun it, and I think the design itself just says it all. It says it all. There's clutter everywhere. But yeah, this was super fun. I loved adding a lot of the scratches, a lot of the holes and cobwebs everywhere. I think it really kind of hits the point, I think. So that is the kitchen area. And then going on, we enter the hallway. The hallway was inspired by the Life in the Cracks Day, which is not about butts, but it is about plants growing in the sidewalk, celebrating Mother Nature and the resilience of nature itself, I guess you can say. So like I said, this one was themed after a community garden space. So I did want to have a sidewalk. I do have little bits of grass growing everywhere, and then just filling the space with lots of plants and flowers pretty much all around. It feels, again, kind of like a craft space, if you will. So that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making this room. We, of course, have the study area themed after the Write Your Own Epitaph Day. So writing your own inscription for what will be on your gravestone. We do have our little office here, inspired by mausoleums, graveyards. It is very cryptic, but somehow cozy with candlelights. And we do have pictures of deceased loved ones along the wall as well, with lots of ivy and candles everywhere. Even a little touch of vampires in there also. So that is the space. Very creepy, very occult-like, some witchcraft in there maybe, but yeah, that is that. That is our office. We did have the Alien Abduction Day bathroom, so definitely on the smaller side, but I do like how this came out. I was inspired by UFOs and being on a spaceship, so this is pretty much what it is, minimalist, very hyper modern, very futuristic. And then, yeah, closing off, we are doing a tour of the Poop Day bedroom. Yes, celebrating what it means to do number 2, and also looking after your number 2 health, if that makes sense. So going a little bit more rustic, more of a sort of outhouse theme, if you will, with a lot of grunge, dinginess, plumbing everywhere. And that is just how it came out. That is how it came out in the end of everything. All right, guys, and that is a wrap on the Weird Holidays apartment build. Hopefully you guys had fun learning about a lot of these weird holidays and seeing these really strange rooms come to life. Now, if you guys do have ideas for more build challenges or more themes for the Every Room Challenge, definitely feel free to share them with me as well. I'm really trying to come up with some very interesting, unique, and out-of-the-box ideas just to make it a little bit more fun while we do this challenge together. And as always, this has been 𝗪𝗛𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗡 signing off. Thank you so much for watching, guys.